help me cope with, with moving forward with life. I'm also an evangelist as well at my church. So you name it, God has blessed me with pretty much doing it.
So, okay, Mika, you can ask your question because
I just said wonderful. You go.
Okay, I was going to say, wow, loss, I think is, I've said this on the show many, many times, that loss is God's biggest attention getter, right? Whether it's like loss of life, loss of a relationship, loss of a job that you wanted, not getting into, losing by not getting into a school that you wanted to get into. Like, it really can set you back. And I think a lot of times when we experience loss in different ways, we don't know how to get back up.
Yes.
Especially overachievers, especially people that is like they're always used to winning, if you will. Like I remember, this is so superficial, but I remember like always getting the solo in the high school choir. And the year I didn't get it, I didn't want to sing anymore, right? Now I know that was an ego thing, but I think a lot of times we just don't know how to deal with loss, but it's God's biggest attention getter in terms of how do we move forward in the loss, in the losing of someone, especially when we talk about grief, and how do you get past that and grief? Anybody want to take that question?
I know for me, my relationship with God really helped me get past it, but I had to honestly take a step back from everything that I was used to doing in order to deal with it. A lot of people tend to throw themselves into their work or throw themselves into whatever it is they're working on and not deal with it. And for me, I needed time to deal with that, to deal with losing them, to deal with this is the new way of living for me. So that was my way of dealing with it.
Letitia, when you talk about, knowing that you weren't living up, I guess you weren't living up. I'm paraphrasing. I'm putting what you said in my own words. Hopefully what I heard you say earlier was just like really not living on purpose or living for God, and then having to go back and repair that relationship. Like, what was the most difficult part of that, of making that, like, was it a difficult decision to say, look, I need to stop doing what I'm doing and like focus on God?
I don't think that part was difficult. Like I said, I think the most difficult part for me was self-forgiving.
Why?
Because I feel like it made me not understand my worth, because I was angry at myself for the decisions that I made that felt like led me down the wrong path. And then I stumbled down that path for a very long time. Not saying that I didn't have purpose in life or I didn't do and achieve good things along the way, but I know I could be further if I would have stayed the course and focused on what was actually really purposeful in life, like being intentional with things. That's even in your relationships. Like, what is your intention in a relationship with that person? What's your intention at that job or getting that degree? I just was doing things because I didn't have a real substance of intention in any of the things that I was doing.
Yeah, I think it resonates so much. Like, Mika, doesn't it resonate so much with about the whisper from last week about not getting distracted, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. Can you tell me, Renee, impact over popularity? I love that statement. Where does it come from?
When I launched Inspiring to Live, actually, I was doing an interview when it came to me. Literally, I know it, it came from God, that when we are doing things for ministry or doing things to draw people closer to God, we can't focus on being popular. And I always say, being popular, you have whatever you did to get popular, you have to make sure you maintain that. You're out to make an impact. That means something that I said, something that I did, I know I planted a seed that's going to carry you through whatever you need, or it's going to be something that's going to make a difference in your life. So my biggest thing is making an impact on somebody's life that I know is going to change something within them.
Mm-hmm. I always think about like, and especially in this fickle cancel culture, right? Like if you rely solely on your ability to get likes,
yes,
it's not going to serve you, because the public can change on you in a heartbeat.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have substance, you don't have longevity.
Yeah. It's so important. But today, we're in a world of influencers. We're in a world of, you have to have 10,000 followers. You have to have 2,000 likes a day in order to make a difference. But if you're trying to do something, like you said, with substance, you may not get 2,000 likes. You may only get 2 likes, but you may get somebody to say, you know what, I needed this. And for me, if somebody DMs me or message or comment on something to say, this is what I needed today, I know that I serve my purpose. So you have to make sure, are you serving people or you're doing something to serve God, to glorify God?
Yeah.
I like that you said that, because it's something that I've been talking about recently. First of all, I did not watch the Emmys. I saw some clips, but Michaela Coel, my love from Chewing Gum. I love her, by the way. I do. Chewing Gum was my first introduction to her. I don't know if it was her first introduction to the world, but I think she's a genius and I really do enjoy her. But her speech, when she won, was basically, I'm gonna put it in my own words, it was kind of like what you were saying. Social media is, just by the pure design of it, right? We're addicted to feeling like we have to always be present. We have to be seen, and being seen equals success, right? So if I see your post, if I can see what you're doing, then that means you're successful. And so she was just saying, don't be afraid, like basically like to go black. Don't be afraid to be silent. Don't be afraid to fall out of the eyesight of people, fall out of the vision of people being able to see you, to work on your craft, to do what you need to do, and to make an impact. And it is important. And I think that social media will have you, for those of us, and when I'm talking about different things, I say us because I'm a human, and I know if I haven't fallen into it, I will fall into it. So I'm not above anybody. So those of us who have fallen into the crazy social media trap, algorithm changes and everything else, it's like you feel like you're working so hard, especially for the solopreneurs. I have something going on and somebody DM me like, the link to your website isn't working. And I was just like, I was sitting there just like, I don't know what to tell you. I could do it manually while we're on the phone, but I don't even have the resources to fix that right now, right? Like that's the whole thing that I can't do at this moment. Letitia, I would have to go to YouTube and learn how to do that. It's going to take me some time because I got some other things going on. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, we existed before social media came around. And I think that because of how it is, it can trick you into thinking that you need it, right? To be successful, to be the next millionaire, to have, the 6-figure business income after all of your expenses. And my whole thing is like, I don't think that's true. I used to. And then I was just like, no, and I'm going crazy over here posting and don't have more than one business, right? Like, don't be a serial entrepreneur like me. I got like 5 pages. I'm like, listen, I'm tired. I don't know. Y'all want some juice? You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, I don't even know. It's like, no, you can't do it because this audience is different than that audience, and your brand and your color and your this and your that and the other thing. And I was like, all right, I'm Mika Fresh. Y'all know what I do. Hit me up. It's really that simple. But it does work. And so we don't really have to shy away from what works, but impact is super duper important. And it's like somebody might purchase from your business, right? Your business might blow up, but in 5 minutes, it's old. What was your impact though?
Exactly.
Nobody has a clue of who this, famous Instagram page is anymore. It's just there now. So I love it. And it's kind of like a little throwback to my youth department at Harvest. At that time, we were Harvest Full Gospel, but we were called Youth Impact. And that was like the question that our youth leader asked us, like, what is your impact?
Yeah.
Forget whose friend you are, right? Forget how popular are. You're the captain of this team and you lead that club or whatever. What is your impact? I love it.
Sometimes you gotta leave the 99 and save the one. So
yes.
Come on now.
Every time.
Letitia, you about to preach.
Only on Sunday though, I got you.
All of this is good stuff because, I think we focus too much on pleasing people and instead of pleasing God, right? We really, and then we find ourselves like, I should have just went with my first instinct, right? Like we don't trust the intuition and the discerning spirit and power that we have within us. Like we
get impatient.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
We get impatient, and social media is it's instant gratification.
Yeah.
It's instant gratification. And I wasn't raised that way. So I realized how I got lost in the shuffle. I was all discombobulated and stuff like that. And I was just like, wait a minute now, this whole right now fix, it ain't lasting too long. But you see it. You just have instant access to it. You just scroll, and you see hundreds of people that supposedly are winning, right? Because we only know what they post.
Right. Listen, and you want to know something, because I just feel like the stronger and the more mature you are in your relationship with God, how your patience is tested more and more and more, right?
I'll be like, God, why?
Like what? Like I'm like, but it's been like all year. Like literally, I was in a season, like God was working through me and with me for a year on like one thing.
That's a good testimony. A year sound like a drop in the bucket. For real. I'm just being honest. I was like, am I missing it? This is a tribulation.
Like
those are different.
Me in this cycle.
Right. Those are different. Well, tribulations are different than trials, in case y'all didn't know.
Right. That was a personal test, but we're not even gonna talk about the business.
Right.
Like child, like manna. I'm still working on the manna. I'm still working on the manna. I'm like, okay.
Time doesn't matter to God. That's why.
It nothing, no sense of time.
I imagine him laughing sometimes, like you said, hurry up. Okay. Sure.
Okay. Yeah. And then I had to go back into like stories, right? Like, we have a whole Bible.
A whole Bible, yes.
Right? Like
all of it.
I think I shared this like a couple, like on a previous show. But like, how long did it take for it to rain? How long was Noah building that ark?
And they was like, Noah, you crazy.
Right, you are so crazy. Like,
how long did it take for Sarah to get pregnant?
Listen.
Okay. I just, yeah, time, that's,
how long,
if we can.
Was he silent before Christ came? Oh, okay.
Can you imagine that?
I could not. I don't ever want God to be silent. Like, I don't know what I would do. Even when I be arguing, like I had put on one of my numbers. I do lists on social media, if y'all don't know, but like I literally had a Holy Spirit argument yesterday because I did not want to do something. I was like, no, that's not gonna work. Like we were going back and forth. Like it was like, right. And I finally about 12:30 this afternoon, I finally did it. Right? And my whole thing was like, I don't even know why you want me to ask this person, because they're gonna say no.
Because they're relying on you. People are relying on you. When you delay, remember you're delaying somebody else's blessing.
And child, when the person texted me back and said yes, I was like, you know what? I surrender. I surrender again and again and again. Yeah. Right. But I was like, but we do this all the time. There's some truth to the matter of, I think I know. I think I know more than God, maybe. Perhaps.
Let me tell you what I say. I'll be like, God, it's your fault you made me this intelligent. I'll be like, you did this. You breathed your life into me. And this is why I'm overanalyzing everything. And this is why I'm over here researching everything. This is why I know I had heard what you said, but when it didn't line up, I started researching like,
right.
It's like, not even really my fault, but it kind of is my fault. Yeah, that's what I do.
let me get some shout outs in. We got, so Brian said, God be like, I get with you when I get with you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Sit on over there and chill out for a minute. Stop rushing me.
Get the tracking number.
Right.
Right. Right. You're like, okay.
And put a timer on God. Impact. Angela said, come on, serving people or serving God. Brian said, I love this show. Angela said, hey, ladies. Thank you all the new people for coming on and watching. I just love the fact that, all three of you have these like service-based companies that are really trying to create impact. So I just want to go around. I'll start with Letitia up top. Any upcoming events that you want to plug?
You keep saying up top.
She's not up top?
She's down on the bottom for me. But I see on Facebook she's up top. Yeah, it's just weird. I was like, am I missing a square?
She's on my left.
Somewhere in there.
Right.
So good.
So yes, actually right now I am doing a tent drive where I'm trying to collect tents for homeless people.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yes. I'm also partnered with a friend of mine, Angie. She makes gift baskets. She's going to be working on her Instagram and stuff soon, so you guys can maybe have her on here before Christmas and she can rack up on them gifts. But she's going to actually make toiletry bags for me, and then someone at Target is partnering with us, so they're going to actually help with the supplies for the toiletry bags.
Right. And I think so we met through a mutual friend. HOD Gaming Family is going to help donate.
HOD.
They were on the show last year. So they're going to help with getting some tents also. So when are you doing that? What's the date on that?
Okay, so I pushed the day back a little bit so we can try to collect some more tents, bring a bit more awareness to the tent drive. Mm-hmm. And so the last day to actually donate is going to be the 16th of October.
Okay.
Then we're going to go out on the 24th of October and pass them out.
Okay. And you're going to pass them out all throughout the DMV or just one specific location?
I think I want to go to tent cities, which are in DC. I pass them 5 days a week on my way to and from work. And even though they call it tent city, it's still a lot of people out there that are sleeping outside of the tents, on the ground, on a bag, in the grass. So I mean, it's a for sure place. I know I can find people.
Right. And so, Letitia, where can people donate, whether they can donate tents or donate money for you to buy the tents? How can people give to this cause?
Okay, so they can email me at Letitia, which is LATESHIA at itsheravenue.com. And then also they can send cash donations to Cash App. And the hashtag for that is at It's Her Avenue.
Awesome. Renee, can you tell us a little bit about what you are doing and any upcoming events?
Sure. I have products on my website. I have my own perfume line. I have t-shirts, coffee mug, and also created African American kids ABC cards with African American characters on them. You can find them on my website and also on Walmart.com as well.
Can you tell me more about the cards? Like, what inspired you to do that?
I was working with my nephew. He was showing me his ABC cards, and I looked at them, and I felt like that kids can relate to something that looks like them. And when I looked at the characters, I'm like, this does not, you can't relate to this. And the cards are something, they're affirmation cards, like A is for aspire, F is for faith, J is for joy, inspire, overflow. And all of the cards have African American characters, as boys, as girls, and it's words that they can relate to, but also it's faith-based words, based words as well.
Awesome.
I love that.
Mhm.
And
That's on your website?
Yeah, what's your website?
It's inspiring, the number 2.live, inspiring2.live.
Okay.
Awesome. Mika,
You putting that in there?
I'm trying, but
Okay.
my
Yes.
mouse is acting stupid. But
And earlier, Brian said by the State Department for tents, you can go by the State Department too. I mean, unfortunately, there's no shortage, right? Like you'll definitely be able to find a place to go. A good problem to have would be I have too many tents and nowhere to deliver them. Amen. All right.
Amen.
Yes.
So-
I receive that. Come on.
Yes.
My mentor told me about good problems, and I was like, but what you mean? I don't even understand. And he was like, oh, you will. and then I did, right? I didn't understand what it meant. Initially, I didn't understand what it meant, but I welcome good problems.
Yes.
So yeah, Halo Academy, we have 3 different initiatives and one on the horizon. So it's still a little early. We usually start in October for our coat drive. And that started because me working with youth, I discovered that just because you're in school, there's a secret that I never really told anybody, but there was a time where I was homeless. And so people think that you look like you have it all together. And so, yeah, that's how it got started. There are a lot of children, who go to public schools. They can't speak for the private schools, but for public schools, there are a lot of children that show up and we have no clue, what's going on, right? Like they could be homeless, they could be hungry, they could not have clothes and things like that. And one of the things that I noticed is a little buddy of mine is a child that I was mentoring. She graduated and went off to college, but she shared with me that she had a classmate, that didn't have a coat. She was like, I think she doesn't have a coat. It's like 30 degrees. We're standing out at the bus stop. I don't think she has a coat. And so I'm always giving away clothes. I think I might have a shopping problem, but I gave a coat that had a tag because I bought it and I was just like, I don't really like it. And I was like, here's a coat. And then I just kept getting those reports. So there's a lot of children that don't have coats, waiting outside at the bus stop, playing sports, right? And I feel like they're a little more at risk of, just these things happening to them because for one, they're minors. For two, people don't really listen to children. We like to tell children how they feel, what is and is not happening. And so I just wanted to make sure I could be an advocate. So we have a coat drive. If you follow Halo Academy, it's Halo Academy Inc. on Instagram, on Facebook, and then our website is haloacademy.com. Inc. is INC. All the information is updated pretty regularly, mostly on Instagram. So you can always get all the good info there. But we have our Growers Club. This is where anybody of any age, it is geared to the young people where you can learn how to grow things. So we're propagating plants and we're growing our own very small things, just small things, little hands grow small things and big things where you can do it in the house. But it's just to get people excited about the growing cycle. And I use this for, believe it or not, emotional intelligence. And then because I am a believer, right? I'm a faith-based person. We use it to talk about God's promises also. The life cycle is amazing. Yeah, it's amazing watching things grow. We were talking about patience. You got to have patience to grow stuff.
Listen,
Yeah. You have to. You mean I can plant it today and I can't eat it tomorrow?
Listen,
you gotta wait 65 days.
Right. You said 65 days?
65 days.
Yeah. And then you see that little bud coming up, you be like, oh, it's
right.
growing.
Most definitely.
But, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of what our passions are definitely are definitely birthed out of our pain and and the things that we go through. Like when you talked about homelessness, I raised my hand, Renee raised her hand, and it wasn't that long ago. And I know I know I'm gonna have people calling me, was like, you were not homeless. Listen, it was not my home. I was in somebody's basement with my children. I was homeless and was still doing this show though. Like I was still doing this show. Like we were doing, I don't know if you remember, Mika, I was doing the show from the library.
I remember.
The library would close at 8 o'clock. And the library would close at 9 o'clock. And at 8:45, it's like 8:45 right now. So this is so ironic with the time. Like I would have to go on mute, literally. And this is before we were on Facebook Live. We were doing the radio format.
The Blog Talk Radio.
Yes. And I would have to mute myself so people couldn't hear the library is closing in 15 minutes. So you talk about dedication.
Right.
You talk about like, because this show is not for me. The show is highlighting ordinary people such as yourselves creating impact in your communities. Like we didn't even shout out where you're from, but I know the teachers in the DMV. Renee, are you in the DMV as well? Or you?
Yes.
Okay, DMV. Mika's is Woodbridge considered the DMV? Because
it is.
Me and the homie was having a conversation.
No, y'all be.
What?
Virginia gets. I just think it's funny.
No, listen.
It's the V. Of the DMV.
Me and the
yes, I'm in Northern Virginia. I am 17.2 miles from DC. Now, with people 17.2. But it still take me an hour.
Me and the homie was having a conversation about how far does, when you say the V or the M in the DMV.
Right.
How far
Can we talk about the M?
Because I feel, yes, that's what I want to get to.
It stops at Baltimore, I believe.
Hell no! Oh, I'm so sorry. It is not Baltimore. The DMV is not Baltimore.
Is it further? Is it further?
No, it stops at Laurel.
If you are at Laurel, you might as well go to Baltimore.
And I'm only saying Laurel because Laurel is half PG. I think it should be.
So you say only PG County is a part of the DMV?
Including Montgomery County.
Shani, you better watch it.
Anybody want to take me? Can somebody
believe it goes up to Baltimore?
I don't think Baltimore is included.
And I don't think nobody really care about the V. I'm just gonna be honest. It's like Arlington. They like, if we can't walk to you from DC, you're not really the DMV.
Is somebody watching clarify for us how far are you? Because we're not talking. Are we really talking Hagerstown when we talk the DMV?
That's not Baltimore.
But
and you need to be on that 95 corridor. I think it's the 95 corridor also, but that's just, I'm not from here, so I'm guesstimating.
But if you say the 95 corridor, then that leaves out like going down Route 4, St. Charles County.
No, that's off of 95.
Huh? What?
You take 95 to 495 and you get off on Route 4. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If it don't, a 95, like a 495, a 295, a 95, a 395, a 695,
okay, so
895.
Angela says Hagerstown is not part of the DMV.
It's not.
And Brian says the cutoff is
right. Richmond and Baltimore. I'm with him. I'm with him because those are your major cities.
So it cuts off at those cities, so they're not included.
And no, that's not what. No.
What?
It means once we get to the end of Baltimore, it's cut off.
So Baltimore is included in the DMV?
Yes, it is. And I don't really, Richmond got their own whole thing going on. You know, they're RBA.
I think that they claim us.
They do.
Baltimore claims us?
Yes.
Anybody from Baltimore watch the show? I need to know. Because they don't even like Bogo. Well, I get anybody in Baltimore.
They have house music.
DC. Exactly. Baltimore.
Well, DC is kind of the own. I'm gonna let you have that one. I'm not gonna speak too much on that.
I don't want to.
I respect where I live.
Y'all are completely. Are y'all?
I don't know. I hear as long as it's metro accessible, but
that leaves out a lot of places.
I like what she said. I like what she said. Like,
it's Tyson's Corner to DMV because you know they got a metro now. They ain't want it.
They are considered.
They don't want y'all a part of their mall.
Probably not.
I'm just politics. I'm gonna back it up. Close my mouth.
Way off tangent, and our guests are like, we don't have any comment on this conversation.
I think Richmond is a part of the DMV, but I'm gonna leave that alone.
I think Richmond is. You said okay. Brian is saying yes. Yes to what? Yeah. Can you specify the yes? Like Richmond is part of what do you mean by yes? And then I gotta move.
I'll say I don't think Richmond includes themselves in the DMV. They have their whole own thing that they say.
Who made up the DMV anyway?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think it was the media. I think it was some production assistant that was tired of spelling out District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia on the teleprompter.
But think about it. Think about it though. Like, all right, so if you think of like 95.5 and you hear the DMV area, where does their reach go?
You get static after Columbia, and you get static right after Fredericksburg. So you can't count.
Exactly. I'm in agreement there. And Columbia is juxtaposed to Baltimore. So just saying. I know a lot of Baltimore people that include themselves in the DMV, but I always have to ask for specifics because living on the V side, I'd be like, when y'all invite me to stuff, can you please take into consideration that I live in Virginia? I live in Northern Virginia. And even though I live 17.2 miles from DC, it's still going to take me an hour.
So Brian says that Tony Bello created the DMV. Tony Bello is a rapper of the early, he's a rapper of the 2000s or the 99 2000s, but I know he's
for the 9 and the 2000s.
I know he's a rapper in the music.
I'm sorry.
You know, the whole version of it, ma'am.
Great segue. I brought in the rap, so I have to go to the is that an electric guitar hanging in the background?
It's acoustic.
So when we first came on, to do the run a show conversation, I said, Letitia, you got a guitar back there. Do you play? She's like, I'm trying. I said, self-taught. She's a woman of many talents.
Yeah, I should have.
Guitar is not easy.
It's not, but I said, I'm like, that's what's up.
We'll see.
So I'm learning. What's the little one called?
The piccolo?
The ukulele. I'm learning the ukulele.
That's what 4 strings, right?
Wait a minute, what is the piccolo though?
Isn't that like in the flute family?
Oh, I was all wrong.
That was funny.
That's a good question. The piccolo.
You're learning
Shani, Shawty, that was funny though.
Yes, that is in the the flute family.
It's a flute, yeah.
Mrs. Charles is mad right now. That was my elementary music teacher.
I'm gonna say maybe you were trying to say fiddle.
No, it's been a long day.
Okay.
It's been a long day. I started my day at 7. Y'all know what I do for a living.
Oh Lord. She said the piccolo.
It's been a long day. I'm glad that I can laugh with my Black Girl Magic friend.
I like that one though. I do. I really like that one.
No, but you
other piccolo,
it's
the other one. The other one. I love that. I love that. No, not that one.
So, are you teaching yourself, Mika?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, I'm musically inclined, right? So I myself how to play the keyboard. I mean, y'all know I shared. I was making beats on my little Casio board.
Yes.
So, I can hear. I don't catch on as quickly as some of your other self-taught musical geniuses, probably because I'm distracted. But I think if I would have had patience and a little more support when I was younger, I probably would be on it by now. But I did teach myself the piano, and I still can play along. I do read music. I do write music, and I'm not talking about lyrics. I'm talking about on a score sheet. I can read and write music. There was a whole initiative when I was younger, because not a lot of Black people can read and write, compose, right? Not a lot. And I wanted to be a maestro, right? Like I wanted to do that for an orchestra. So I used to go hard at it. But I was gifted a guitar in 2001 because I feel like that's the time Lauryn Hill debuted, that she could play the guitar too, right? Like with all the other talents that she has. And I remember being like, oh, if she learned that since the last time we saw her, because that's what she said. Like, this is what I've been doing since the last time y'all saw me. And I was like, bet. I think Lauren lied. It's hard.
I little fun fact, I used to play the violin. And
wonderful.
I started and I learned through the Suzuki method, and that's a Japanese, you learn by ear method. So I could pick up, we had to listen. Me and my best friend Nicole would go to violin lessons every Thursday, and then we would have apple cider and graham crackers. I didn't like apple cider, but I had to drink it in order to get the graham cracker. Anyway,
that's so funny.
We had to we learned by hearing. So I have a very good ear for music now.
And that's a gift though, right? Like people cannot be taught that.
You can't be taught that. It's you
either have it or you don't.
But
you can increase what you have, but like,
and that's what she said.
You just gotta have the ear.
So Mrs. Swords I think she was like German, and she was like, you have a natural ear. I was like, okie dokie. But I say all that to say, I didn't know how to read music. So when I started learning, I started playing the violin at 6. I didn't start playing piano till 12. I couldn't get piano down. I was not, and everybody thought I would be great at transitioning. I was not.
How? They're like, one is a percussion and one is a string instrument, and the violin is hard too.
I don't know, but
that whole bow just throws me off. I tried and I sound like trash. I was like, I'm gonna leave that for the gifted folks over there.
I don't know how
I'm gonna stick to my percussion.
I would probably still play if I knew how to tune it. I don't know how to tune the instrument. I could have went to YouTube, but it wasn't working for me.
I tried to use YouTube to tune my guitar, and that didn't work either. So I pulled out the old Casio board. I had to. It's the only thing I had to go for.
So you should come on the show next week with your ukulele.
And do what? Run your viewers away?
No,
nah, we good. I'll let you know when I'm ready.
All right.
I haven't even learned one chord. Like I'm still getting acquainted because I'm left-handed and I had to flip it.
I just had this great closing question, ladies. I thank you all for coming on tonight. We put your all your contact information is in the chat. And then of course, I'm gonna do a nice little write up and tag all of you in your social media for everyone. October 16th is the last day for you to get your tent order in. The Sharing with Shani Show will donate 3 tents for you.
Well, that's amazing.
That is so amazing. That's what we do here.
That's 3 homes for 3 people that didn't have one.
So impact over popularity, but it's inspiring to live. So the question is, what would you tell your younger self? And that's for all of you. That's the question to end the show. Mika, do you have a whisper?
No,
So
we don't need one.
We're still,
We're still not being distracted.
Okay, I'm fine.
Yeah, the spirit has not moved on that one. And I do think we can sit on not
Probably
being
my
distracted
fault,
for a
'cause
while.
it's not moving on that one.
No. I pray hard, I pray a lot. And I do feel like distractions are coming left and right and in a way that people aren't even aware of, right? Like it's insidious. So the people that, a lot of times we think distractions as like these blatant things that are so obvious, but they're not. A lot of times they're not obvious at all. And so, yeah, I think we should sit with that for a little bit.
I just seen this clip on YouTube actually nights ago, and it talked about how the devil will send you good distractions, things that
what we like
a new job. So now you got to dive into the new job and focus on learning that. So now you're not into your word and spending time with
Come on now.
You're spending time with your friends, which is a good thing.
Come on, Letitia.
At the same time, now you're spending less time with God, which, let's be real, most of us.
He's opportunistic, most definitely.
Time with God, but yeah, that's why I said, I think I'm probably the reason.
And we'd be like, Lord, I got this good job, and I can give you more money. I can give more tithes.
You didn't preach. You keep preaching.
Well, technically, I got that off of YouTube University, so
it's okay. You delivered it differently. It's okay. It's okay.
But that is so true, though.
It was timely.
Because, and I'm gonna tell you why it's so true. Because we sit there and try to act like the devil believes, right? The devil believes
when people tell me, "Oh, I believe in God," so did the devil. Come on,
so did the devil, right?
Add one.
So, like
exactly.
you gotta.
I'm not impressed.
So So I'm all tongue tied because I just got excited.
It's okay.
That is why you have to really stay rooted. You have to stay attached and abiding, attached to the mind, right? You got to stay rooted and grounded in the word. You have to be what they say, vigilant, right? And watching over things.
What was that word you said?
Did I said the right word? I'm messing up words now?
I think you did. Did you say vigilant?
Mm-hmm. Diligent? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought she said
I think she mixed up vigilant and diligent.
Yeah.
I did. I made a new word.
Yeah. I was like,
both.
I made a whole new
did
word.
I hear what I heard?
Yeah.
I like it though.
That's how it works.
Diligent.
It's a whole new word. Look it up. It's in there. I promise.
But you gotta stay diligent and focused on
and vigilant too. Yes.
and before. Yeah, I'm done.
I love you, Shani.
I can't do that. I'm not. It's the hair. Frida
just wants to be free.
She just wants to just be like, where's the party? Because my birthday is in 10 days. So anyway, a point to all of this is, yes, the enemy and the adversary will send things that look good and put a nice pretty bow on it and make you think that this is what it should be. And daggone well it's not, because God already told you what it was.
He said, don't eat from that tree, didn't he? Mm-hmm. He did. Okay, Letitia, did you share Can you recap if you did? Because you dropped a word and I just lost it. What would you tell your younger self? Just in case anybody else got ADD like I do. Can't even concentrate.
What I tell my younger
It's
self?
COVID's fault. I'm gonna blame it on
I
COVID.
would tell my younger self to never stop investing in my creative side.
Ooh,
I like it.
I played many instruments. I drew, I sang, I write, and
Yeah.
as an adult, of course, you get responsibilities, and I think I let that side of me go. So now I'm trying to bring it back, but it's like you have to teach yourself all of that all over again.
All over again.
soprano or alto? Are you a soprano? Are you a
Letitia, what part do you sing?
I'm just a hummer now.
Not a Hummer.
Yes, I like.
Renee, what would you tell your younger self?
Take time and find out who you are.
Ooh, take time to find out who you are.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I would write an essay to my younger self.
No, you got one sentence.
Yeah, I'm just letting y'all know it'll be a whole essay. So honestly, I would start with, it's okay when people don't like you.
Oh, that's so true. I would tell
It is okay.
I would tell I have so many things to tell my younger self, but I think the biggest one is don't hide your light.
Ooh.
Don't.
Man, I was hiding my light for so long. So
we like to blend in the background, right?
Oh, child, it was a mess. I mean, in relationships, in the classroom, on the job. I could go on and on.
Do you know why that was? Was it a I want to be accepted? I'm not trying to rock the boat. I have low confidence. What was that? Okay.
I think it was all of it. It was all of it. Didn't want to be a know-it-all. Didn't want to lose friends. Wanted people to like me. Wanted to be a people pleaser.
You want to know what was interesting? Because when you said know-it-all, I don't know, that brought up something. I'm not triggered because I was just like, okay. But what other peers felt about me, right? Like people in my age group, I didn't really care. Because in my head, I was just like, y'all can't really offer me anything, right? You can't teach me how to graduate, get a job, get a scholarship, nothing. Y'all in the same boat as I am. So I really didn't have high value on that type of feedback. But adults were different because I was raised to believe that adults were, they were SMEs and everything. They were subject matter experts on life. And so when an adult had this kind of challenging opinion or statement or feedback or whatever, those are the people that would rock me. And I remember in college, y'all, I was not a traditional college student. So we're talking older than 21. All right. I remember I had an instructor that told me I didn't have to raise my hand so much. Right? Like she would ask a question and I would wait and nobody would say anything. So I would raise my hand. And honestly, I was really trying to engage people because being a little bit older than most of the people in the room, I know that you're only going to get out of this experience what you put into it, right? Like y'all sitting here acting like you too cool, but at the end of this, you pay $40,000 a year and this class was a part of it. What you getting out of it, right? But I remember when she said that, it was like, I almost felt like, can you imagine an instructor telling a younger person who may not be so sure of, what impact, right, they're leaving in the world, who they are, what they're trying to do. Like they're in college growing themselves and an instructor would say, oh, you don't really need to raise your hand so much. That's a horrible thing to say to anybody. especially in that dry class. But I'm a digress. But I remember how I felt. Now I was sure of myself. So it didn't bother me too much, but I paid attention to it because there are instructors saying things like that, you know, to hungry, zealous young people, you know, who are here trying to get everything out of their experience. And they're looking at you like, oh, you know it all. And it's like, really?
Yeah. Imagine, and you see, you had a maturity level that it didn't bother you, but imagine if you had heard that at 7 or 8.
Adults are dream killers. I say that all the time.
We've had a conversation, and you know what? If we keep talking about it, this will be a 2-hour show. But I just got a text message. What did I say? What word did I say? That wasn't a word.
Diligent. Diligent. Vigilant.
That is a word. I just
is it what it mean? What it mean?
Careful watch for possible danger or difficulties.
Vigilant.
Yes.
How is spelled?
Vigilant.
Yep, that is a word.
That's vigilant. That's the word you were supposed to say, but you said vigilant. Vigilant.
No, I
like diligent with a V on it.
I put a G there.
No, you said vigilant. You did put a G on it at the end.
No, I gotta go.
We'll listen to the playback.
Child, I'm tired. I thank y'all for coming on the show tonight. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I love this energy and synergy. The Shani.
The Sharing with Shani Show.
Sharing with Shani Show highlights ordinary people working for an extraordinary God, sharing love, life, and light. We air every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook Live. The replay will be on YouTube in about, I don't know, by tomorrow. I hope. I'm going to go get something to eat. And
it's late, Shani.
I'm hungry. I didn't have time.
Eat some fruit. It's late.
I'm definitely about to go eat.
It's late.
And it's past my bedtime.
Thank you.
Late.
Right. Next week, we have special guest Emily Williams. Thank you. God bless you and peace.
Good night.